levels with different donation amounts.
$10 could help provide miscellaneous turbans or hats or wig supplies for individuals who are coping with hair loss. $25 can help provide bed pads and other supplies. $50 helps to provide weekly nutritional supplements for up to 5 patients. So there's a lot of different things. As you get up in your donation, there's things that you can help support.
Morphy says Berrien County Cancer Service is in its 75th year, now having helped those battling cancer since 1948. She invites everyone to come hungry and thirsty because food trucks will be on site. Those interested are asked to check in on their Facebook event page. You can also just show up. Spare Some Change for Cancer happens Wednesday, October 18, from 5:30 to 8 p.m.
That should be fun.
That should be fun. Pete Cider Social, do some bowling, do it for a good cause, get some food trucks going on out there. It's going to be great. As Ford has put on hold its $3.5 billion EV battery plant in southwest Michigan's Marshall, the planned Goshen battery plant near Big Rapids is moving forward. The executive director of the Mecosta County Development Corporation, Kelly Wazik, says they initially received a lot of interest from developers outside the state.
As time kind of went on, more of the state developers and companies and housing developers and builders started watching the project progress, and I've really ramped up since probably this April, and I have a few dozen lists of all these inquiries that I've received from all over the state and the region.
Wazik says the $2.3 billion is expected to create more than 2,300 jobs over the next 8 to 10 years. Construction should begin next spring. And the South Haven City Council has lent its voice to a campaign asking for the Michigan Department of Natural Resources to install another covered bridge along the Cal Haven Trail at the site of the former Nichols covered bridge over the Black River. DNR removed the popular bridge as part of a maintenance project. Locals want its replacement to resemble the old bridge. South Haven resident Dick Bruin told the city council this week citizens are asking for township support.
That will help us convince the DNR, put away these past concerns you have of whatever happened, and work with us now to get a decent wooden bridge with a cover over the Black River.
The city council approved the resolution in support of the effect. It comes at no cost to the city. Friends of Cal Haven Trail have been working to convince the DNR to replace the Nichols Bridge with something that resembles the landmark.
All right.
Yeah, it was a beautiful bridge. There was a lot of heat and consternation between the two sides.
Yeah.
They didn't really understand why the covered bridge needed to be removed in the first place. DNR said, it needs it.
It's got to go.
So they said, the Friends of the Cal Haven Trail said, okay, fine, put a new one back that was just like it. Because it was a draw.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway.
For photos and for just hanging out and going through there. Beautiful.
In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
Lots of great things to come in just a few minutes. We'll chat about, a lot of the news that you need to know this morning, but also we'll have a special guest, Fred Upton, joining us to talk about all the things that are going on in D.C.
Boy, oh boy.
And it's quite a lot. So we'll get to that and unpack all that stuff and get some perspective from him. Also catch you up with sports and find out what's happening in the news with ABC News this morning.
Kevin McCarthy, still a congressman, but out of leadership. For the first time in U.S. history, a Speaker of the House has been forced out. It happened at the hands of a small group of hardliners led by Florida Republican Matt Gaetz. Up in the air as to who might be the next Speaker and when a vote might be taken. A shelter-in-place order lifted at Morgan State University in Baltimore after a shooting during the school's homecoming festivities. 4 students and 1 other person was hurt at the historically black college. Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott.
This unfortunate and unacceptable tragedy joins, as we know, a long line of colleges and schools around this country that have seen incidents like this.
All injuries are non-life-threatening, and there is no suspect in custody yet. The judge in Donald Trump's fraud case has issued a partial gag order over the former president after Trump criticized a court clerk. The judge saying personal attacks on members of my court staff will not be tolerated. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Your sports update on the morning show is brought to you by True Blue Financial. Independent, uncomplicated, dedicated.
Tuesday was the start of the Major League Baseball postseason with the wild card round. Yesterday, it was Texas over Tampa Bay 4-0. Minnesota beat the Toronto Blue Jays 3-1. It was Arizona over Milwaukee 6-3, and Philadelphia beat Miami 4-1. Texas, Minnesota, Arizona, and Philadelphia all grabbed the series lead 1-0. Today, Texas at Tampa Bay at 3, Toronto at Minnesota at 4:30, Arizona at Milwaukee at 7, and Miami at Philadelphia at 8 o'clock. NHL preseason last night, Connor Bedard had a goal and 2 assists to lead the Blackhawks over the Red Wings 4-2. It was Bedard's first goal of the preseason, an empty netter in the third period. Joe Veleno had both goals for Detroit. The Wings preseason continues tonight in Pittsburgh at 7 o'clock. And in junior college sports, in volleyball, it was Lansing Community College over Lake Michigan College 3-0. Today in soccer, it's Schoolcraft College at Lake Michigan College. The women's game is at 2. The men's game begins at 4. With sports, I'm Dave Wolf.
Sometimes you just don't know where to start. So we're a starting point.
That's the new director of the Women's Business Center at Cornerstone Alliance, Kristen Patzer.
We're that sounding board to talk through your ideas. You know, there's market research and statistics that come into play. And so we're here to really talk through from the idea phase and beyond.
From helping you develop your business plan to matching you with financial assistance and networking, the Women's Business Center helps entrepreneurs turn their ideas into thriving businesses. And the support doesn't stop there.
I would argue that.
Good morning to the folks that are watching on our live stream. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Did you get your Powerball ticket yet? It's going to be over, what, $1.2 billion? It's ridiculous.
That's going to be great. Can't wait to win that.
I know, right? I can't wait to get one number right, because I got the ticket on Monday for the drawing, and I swear, nothing. Absolutely nothing. No numbers right at all. No numbers even close. Actually, I think I had one that was like 42 on my ticket, and I think one of the winning numbers was 43.
That's frustrating.
Yeah. So it's just
maybe you go back to picking your own numbers.
You know, when I did pick my numbers, the last time there was $1 billion jackpot, which was only a few months ago, I think with my numbers that I picked, I got a couple of them right.
Okay.
Not the Powerball or the Mega Ball, but I did get a couple of the other ones right.
Yeah.
Do you do the quick pick all the time?
Always the quick pick.
All right.
Always the quick pick. That reminds me, I need to go reinvest my winnings from the last one into this one.
Well, we won't call them winnings because you lost. You spent $10 and you only got $4 back.
That's true. That's true.
So you're negative $6 on that run.
If we're going to keep tally, then I will say if that $4 turns into $1.2 billion, I'm still going to be ahead.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I think you'll be all right.
A little bit.
Well,
that'll be great.
We got a lot of things going on this morning. Having a little bit of technical difficulties. I don't know if we have
internet's out everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck's going on. I think it's the moon. The moon, super moon's done and
something's going on. Because we got every little, it's not like big things. It's just like every little thing here and there, just these random things like, that's not working right. Oh, that's not where it needs to be. Oh, that needs to be reset. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully not everybody else is dealing with technology issues this morning like we are.
It's gremlins,
Yeah.
Because it's October now.
Could be.
Gremlins are back.
What are the gremlins getting into stuff?
I don't know.
Huh.
Gremlins.
All right.
Great movie.
Just blame it on the gremlins.
Yeah.
Gremlins, real quick.
Yeah.
Christmas movie or Halloween movie?
I would say I was initially thinking Christmas, but it's kind of a Halloween thing. But it's Christmas. It's a Christmas movie.
Christmas happens in it.
Yeah.
So at least the first one.
I will also say, speaking of movies, I finished Meg 2 last night.
Okay. We'll have to hear your review in just a moment.
All right.
Move in overnight. We dropped to 62, and we're talking rain and thunderstorms on Thursday with a high of only 70. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Hey, good morning. Be part of the show anytime. You can always call 925-WSJM. You can email let's talk at WSJM.com. Want to say a good morning to the folks that are watching on our live stream. We got, Teresa's back.
Hey, Teresa.
Teresa, that I'm pretty sure watched the entire live stream yesterday.
Sweet.
So we appreciate that and appreciate everybody that watches. And if you want to do that, check it out on our Facebook and our YouTube, and feel free to comment, because whether you're commenting on the news and things that we're talking about, or if you have questions about something, or if you happen to see something and you're like, hey, you guys should talk about this.
Yeah.
What's going on over there?
Yeah.
This and that. We'll have a special guest, Fred Upton, joining us a little bit later on this morning to talk about stuff that's going on in D.C. and what he's been up to lately, all that good stuff. But also, you said a while back you were watching Meg 2.
Yep.
Which is a movie that you can stream now on, I believe it's on Max.
Yes. Yeah, it's on the Max.
You finally finished it.
Formerly HBO. Well, I mean, we started at, got to be bedtime. I was starting to fall asleep. It's like, okay, let's wait.
How long is it? About an hour and a half, 2 hours?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I watched it in 2 segments, but
all right.
Stephanie and I finished it last night. It's fantastic. I loved it.
Because I saw the first one, and going into it, I thought, oh, great, this is going to be another one of those really dumb shark movies, like, Sharknado, or what was it, Deep Blue Sea with Samuel L. Jackson. There's been a lot of shark movies, and I feel like I didn't need to see another one. But the first one actually was pretty good. So the second one, without giving anything away, what was your review?
As long as you disconnect yourself from reality, it's great. It's a lot. Of fun.
Okay.
And if you want to see Jason Statham.
Yeah, you have to say it with a little bit of a lisp. Yeah, Statham.
Thank you. Jason was great.
Yeah. How much did he? How long did he actually keep a shirt on? Was he shirtless almost the whole entire time?
No, I think he took his shirt off about 2/3 of the way in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the very last piece. Did some wet bike acrobatics or aquabatics as they were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. But there's more than just the megalodon.
Oh,
just
no spoiler is this like there. Does Godzilla show up?
No Godzilla.
Man, because that's what they should have. I mean, if they wanted to defeat the megalodon thing, it's like, duh, just go get Godzilla. He'll take care of it.
Well, and you'll love the opening scene then.
All right.
But I will also tell you that they're really setting it up to be a franchise.
Really?
They opened so many questions that they didn't resolve by the end of it. It wasn't bothersome, but they set up certain actors for, it's like, oh, well, that person doesn't seem, like they're doing the right thing. They must be going to get eaten by a dinosaur at some point, and they weren't.
Oh.
So that says to me, number 3's coming.
Well, it makes sense because Jason Statham has been a part of many long-lasting franchises, everything from Transporter to, of course, the Fast and Furious movies. He's been in like half of those ones.
Yeah. Transporter was a great series.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
I love Jason Statham.
Yeah, he's great.
Does he do any, because I know he's a great martial artist.
Yeah.
Does he do any martial arts? I mean, I guess you really can't martial arts your way into a fight with a giant shark. He can't kick it or anything.
I don't want to give
like
too
that.
much away.
All right.
I mean, maybe he does that. Who knows?
All right. Does Jet Li show up? Because he's done a lot of movies with Jet Li.
You will be really satisfied with this. I can tell.
Teresa says she also likes Jason Statham. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, the guy's great.
Yeah.
He does a good job. And I've never seen a movie. Well, I won't say that. I'm not going to say I've never seen a bad movie with Jason Statham, but I also have seen the Crank movies.
Oh,
where he's.
Oh yeah, those are great.
It's ridiculous.
I love those.
One
movies.
of those. Don't really.
I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, if you want to escape reality a little bit,
watch
those movies. But yeah, Jason Statham.
He had a heart issue.
He did. He had a lot of other issues as well. So that review was good.
Yeah.
So solid movie, worth watching.
It's no Andrew Green review, but it is a review. Yeah, I liked it.
Other things to get to this morning. I told you things are just acting weird this morning.
You want to talk about X? I've got a quick one on X.
Yeah, what do you got on X?
X Corporation, formerly known as Twitter, is facing a lawsuit, what could be the first of several lawsuits related to its name. Now, we've talked about this before. It's like X.com. I don't get it. I don't get it. Doesn't
weird.
Somebody already have that? Well, a Florida-based company called X Social Media has accused X Corporation, Elon Musk, of trademark and service mark infringement.
All right.
For the use of the letter X. Musk's rebranded Twitter back in July, renaming the social network as X, replacing remember the Bluebird? You used to have a little Bluebird on there
Yeah, now it's just
doing
X,
tweets and Twitters. Now it's just X with a little lightning thing through it or whatever that is.
which doesn't make any sense because with Twitter, they were like, I'm tweeting. So it's like I'm making noise.
Yeah.
I'm saying something. It made sense.
Yeah, apparently the Elon Musk is known for having this affinity with the letter X, but now he's facing a lawsuit. X Social Media describes itself in the lawsuit as a company that has offered its advertising and social media services connecting law firms and those in need of advocates since 2016.
Okay.
Its logo looks vastly different from what Elon uses, but it says in its complaint that it frequently emphasizes the X portion of its mark throughout its advertising, its blogs, its newsletters, highlighting all its work. So they say, Elon Musk, you got to stop. You're infringing on our stuff here. I don't know how far that'll go.
Yeah, we'll see. Because he's one of the richest people in the world.
He can hire an attorney or two.
Yeah, I think he's also. I saw he's dealing with custody issues with his baby mama.
Oh no.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of spending a lot of time in court.
Well, that's
what it
unfortunate.
sounds like. This is the thing I found that I finally got in front of me.
Okay.
Research and development is important in any business.
Sure.
I mean, we know with a lot of businesses around here, especially Whirlpool and places like that, you do a lot of research and development before you release the product to the public.
Yep.
This one was pretty interesting to me. Charmin spent 5 years redesigning toilet paper perforation.
Huh.
So you think about it, every toilet paper,
the separation between the squares,
the little tear of the square. They said they got a lot of complaints about toilet paper not tearing cleanly along the perforation.
Well, it doesn't.
No,
it messes up all the time.
Whether you're an over the top or underneath kind of person.
Well, there's only over the top. You never do underneath.
Over the top is the only way to go.
Yeah.
Anybody that does under,
you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you might be a psychopath. But with the tear, they put their research and development team together.
Okay.
And said, hey, figure this out, which is crazy to think about because they spent 5 years thinking about this, but really they should have been spending, they should have been rethinking this a long, long time ago. Maybe the technology finally showed up. But
I do appreciate that they're thinking about the tear.
Yeah.
But it's really the stuff between the tears that I care most about.
The ply, the amount of ply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to do its job.
The 2-ply has to work.
And whether it's torn or not, neatly or not, really doesn't matter to the end product outcome.
Exactly. Yeah.
So to speak.
The wipe has to work properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the next stage of thinking. But also, too, if you think about it, with this different kind of the old, or what I'd call the older perforation.
Yeah.
A lot of times if you're tearing, if you try to do the one hand tear, you end up pulling more squares.
Well, I wonder if that's their gig here, is they're going for the environmental responsibility.
Right.
Of you can tear and you're not tearing off a tree.
Mm-hmm. So they figured out that the uneven tear was because the line was straight, but people were pulling from all different angles. So the team, the research and development team, worked on a redesign. It took them more than 5 years to do so, which is kind of crazy. And I'd love to be
long?
I'd love to be in that room as just, hey, you know what your job is for 8 hours a day? You're going to tear different toilet papers and see how it does from different angles.
Honestly, what took so long? What took 5 years to figure out a tear?
I have no idea, but they call this new thing smooth tear. And instead of a straight line, it's a wavy perforation. That means each piece is no longer a square.
Yeah.
Which is a significant change. The smooth tear is going to debut this month for their ultra soft rolls. It's unclear if they'll also change their other varieties or if the other brands might follow suit. But taking a look at it, the smooth tear, it's just got a little wave on there. So I guess it's one of those that as you tear the square, it might be, I guess it'll be a little easier.
So the physics of it are no matter which angle you're tearing from, because who can tell which angle you're going to tear from, it tears well.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So.
Well, good that they spent 5 years figuring that one out. Maybe they can apply that somewhere else.
I'm sure the engineers were probably like, man, we could probably figure this out in like 20 minutes. But
are they going to spend 10 years going after tearaway shirts? Something
maybe
like that? Because, I try all the time and I just can't tear it away.
Right.
Get home from work and just.
Yeah. You can't Hulk Hogan your shirt?
Well, it gets expensive.
Yeah.
So
that's how you take your shirt off every day?
Just
all right.
So, anyway, so Charmin did that.
Yeah,
Is it on the market yet?
It will be soon.
Okay.
They will release the the new Ultra Soft with the smooth tear at some point here in probably the next couple weeks.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Mr. Whipple will be happy.
It's just they got to work on the wipe and not it tearing or falling apart or having any sort of issues there.
Oh,
also, I want them to figure out too.
Yeah.
Maybe they need to reshape it more like a football because every time I try
toilet tissue.
Yeah. Every time I try to throw it up into a tree when I'm trying to TP somebody, it just doesn't fly the way I'd like it to fly. So if they could work out that would be great. Also on the other side, make that easier to clean up when somebody does TP your house.
Is there a season for TPing houses?
I think it's coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd watch out for it.
Well,
be nice to people.
Knocking on wood, but it seems there are a couple of houses in the neighborhood where I've seen it happen, and unfortunately for them, a little bit of rainfall came immediately before they could clean it up.
Yeah.
That is just a mess.
Well, this is a safe space, so I just want to ask you, have you ever TP'd somebody's house?
I've never.
Really?
I have never.
Never.
I've never egged anyone's house.
I have TP'd someone's house before.
No.
I have also saran wrapped someone's car before.
Interesting. That's fun.
Yeah, when you're a farm kid and a bunch of farm boys and you TP people's houses or you get industrial saran wrap from farmers.
Okay.
Like it's
and the big roll. Yeah, the restaurant roll.
And so we just saran wrap people's cars every once in a while.
That's fun.
It's not fun when you come up to a car that's been saran wrapped, but when you actually do that to somebody, it's very rewarding.
I've got a saran wrap story, but maybe we'll save that for the stream.
Okay, we'll talk later on that. But if you want to be a part of the stream, you can always check it out on our Facebook and our YouTube. We'll talk with Fred Upton here a little bit after 7:30. We'll catch you up with news before that, and your Bloomberg Market Minute is next.
Just as the roots of a mighty oak run deep, sturgeon.
All right, everybody. Hopefully you're having a great morning. We will chat with Fred Upton a little bit later on. Not sure if he'll be in the building or if he'll be joining us on our stream or if he'll call us on the phone. We will we'll wait and see about that, and we'll keep you posted. But hope you're having a great day. Feel free to comment on anything that you have going on. We'd love to hear from you. Yeah. I can't believe Ken's never TP'd anybody's house. Has anybody else TP'd someone's house? I'm sure you have. Sorry, I'm just getting everything ready for when Fred stops by. Ever TP'd somebody's house before or saran wrapped somebody's car? Egged somebody's house, maybe? I'm not a fan of that. Don't do that. That's not a good idea. But have you ever done anything like that? This is a safe space. There's not going to be a confession time going on, but love to hear from you. We'll catch up with news, your Bloomberg Market Minute here in a few minutes. Is anybody else dealing with technology issues? We've had little things here and there that have been going on that haven't really disrupted us too much, but just little technology issues. Don't know what's going on. So feel free to let us know. We had some issues with our stream. Not sure if that's figured out, but then, little buttons here and there having some problems. So don't really know what's going on. All right. You want to tell your saran wrap story?
Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
We were talking just a moment ago about saran wrap. So what is your saran wrap story?
I was checking the toilet paper to see what the perforation rip on it, and it was totally uneven.
Oh.
So thanks, Sharman, for figuring that one out.
All right.
No, I used to. So one of my first jobs was working at a golf course / restaurant resort, and they had a little condo pavilion.
Yeah.
That was like a I don't know, there's condos all around in a square formation, and there was a courtyard in the center. And so a few of the guys, you know, after restaurant work, you're looking for something to do.
Sure.
So you're enjoying beverages or whatever. And we had the restaurant saran wrap, and there was a dare put on the table.
Did you saran wrap yourself to something?
Well, I saran wrapped myself, and the dare was run across the courtyard of the condominiums where all the tourists are hanging out, partying.
Naked?
Yeah, well, with saran wrap on.
Okay, so you were wearing something.
I was wearing saran wrap. I was just wearing saran wrap.
That's awesome.
And I did it, and I ran across the courtyard. And the agreement was I had to whoop whoop the whole time. Now
that's where your whoop whoop comes from.
That's where the whoop whoop came from.
All right.
And I thank goodness this didn't happen. But as I'm running across the courtyard, I'm thinking to myself, oh no, the guys on the other side have closed the gate and I won't be able to get out.
Oh no, so you have to come back.
But that didn't happen. I was able to get out.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was over 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're just a kid though.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was last week.
it was last week, working at the restaurant.
That's hilarious, man.
Yeah. Saran wrap. I don't know. Is that a thing? Saran wrap streaking, or did we just come up?
Saran wrap streaking? No, I've not done that before.
See, so we invented something.
There you go.
Yeah. Patent that.
And you're listening
here we
to
go.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on 94.9 WSJM.
And you'll be listening to that guy a little bit later on this morning. We'll catch up with Fred and talk about some things here in just a moment. We were just having some good conversations on our live stream. If you don't watch the live stream, I just got to tell you, you are missing out on some exclusive content, things that you may never hear on this fine award-winning radio program.
Things you may never be able to erase from your brain.
That too. Hang on.
Sorry about
As
that.
we were talking about saran wrap and things like that, Teresa, who's watching on our stream, says, I saran wrapped my brother's car and he didn't talk to me for a week. Yeah. For some reason, I think saran wrapping a car is hilarious.
Yeah.
People that get their car saran wrapped, not too happy about it. I don't know why. Because it's not hard. It's not hard to get it off. You just kind of you have to be a little careful, but you just get a knife and you just cut the thing off and it comes right off.
Yeah.
No, we did the way we did it is we did all the way around the car,
right,
and then all the way around, like up and over. Like
double wrap.
We had people on the other side throwing the roll underneath the vehicle and then over the top. So yeah, it was pretty awesome.
I'd like to see a tinfoiled car.
Ooh,
that'd be fun.
That would be nice.
Shiny.
And that takes some skill to wrap that baby. All right, more to get to later on this morning. Let's find out what's happening in the news right now.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. Here are some of the stories we're following for you this morning. Local lawmakers say removing the U.S. House Speaker was not the right move. After yesterday's historic first-time removal of a sitting Speaker of the House, Congressman Tim Walberg said this was a blow to the conservative movement and will not help them to achieve their goals of reining in government spending, securing the border, or reversing the results of the Biden administration. We'll talk with former Congressman Fred Upton in just a few minutes about that situation. If you hear some noise coming from Tiscornia Beach at St. Joe today, don't be alarmed. It's lest we forget doing some pyrotechnic testing. The Historic Preservation Group is preparing for a reenactment of the D-Day invasion set to take place on June 22nd next year. St. Joseph Department of Public Safety says they're practicing with pyrotechnics probably from around noon to 1 o'clock. Spare some change for cancer. It's a fundraiser by the Berrien County Cancer Service, and it's planned for later this month at Pete's Cider Social in Stevensville. Donations go to help people dealing with cancer by providing financial help with head coverings, nutritious supplements, and other items. Those interested are asked to check in on the Spare Some Change for Cancer Facebook event page. You can also just show up. It happens on Wednesday, October 18 from 5:30 to 8. The public is invited to attend. In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
And we'll catch you up with sports here in just a few minutes. First, let's find out what's happening around the state with the Michigan News Network.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Jonathan Carlson. Federal authorities will be testing the emergency alert system this afternoon. A message will be played on radios and television starting at 2:20. Another portion of the test will be directed to all cell phones. The tests are meant to ensure the warning systems about public emergencies are still working. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is ballooned to at least $1.2 billion. If the jackpot winner takes the cash option, they'll receive nearly $552 million before taxes. Trial is underway for a West Michigan woman accused of crashing her car into Make-A-Wish bicyclists, killing 2 of them and injuring 3 others. 43-year-old Mandy Ben of Ionia faces several charges, including second-degree murder.
Sure.
Okay.
Bring him in.
Okay.
Oh, look at that beautiful view.
That does look like a nice view. All right.
Very nice.
If you can hear us, we've just added you to the stream. Oh, we can hear
There
you.
he is.
Yeah. Hey, how are you doing? I'll adjust the shade as the sun is coming up. What time are we going to go on? A couple minutes yet?
Yeah, we'll go on in a couple minutes. We've got you on the live stream now, so people on Facebook are able to see you.
All right.
You look great.
No problem. I'm going to get a cup of coffee, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
We'll bring you out of the stream, and then we'll put you back in when we see you again.
Okay. All right.
All right. So, yeah, very exciting to be talking with Fred about, a multitude of different things as well. We've been watching the news and seen, a lot going on.
I've been thinking, where in the world do you start on this one?
Yeah.
Where do you start? Because, you just when you thought dysfunctional government couldn't get any more dysfunctional, they do this.
Right.
First time in history has happened.
Yeah, because you had all of that dysfunction of going on where they were like, all right, could there be a looming government shutdown?
Yeah.
And then let's get that going on. And then that caused that chain reaction of people saying, okay, well, now let's get rid of the Speaker of the House. And then it's just a lot going on. There's a lot of plates spinning in the air.
Wow. Or maybe they're falling off and they're breaking one by one.
Or I think they're throwing them at each other. They're
other.
food fighting or something. So yeah, there's a lot going on. So maybe he can help us unpack a little bit of that stuff.
Goodness gracious.
Beautiful day. It looks like the sun's coming out where Fred's at.
Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty.
All right. What else we got going on today? Oh, well, we're going to have special guests later on as well. We'll have guests in studio when we talk with Tom Austin from Austin, Texas.
Tom's coming in?
Tom's coming in.
Oh, that's exciting.
Bringing a special guest with him as well.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Busy day.
I'm heading out to Paw Paw later on today.
Ooh.
To get a Moody on the Market story.
What's happening in Paw Paw?
Well, I won't reveal all the detail of it, but there's a business renovation project happening. They want to talk about it.
Oh.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
I love Paw Paw.
Paw Paw.
Paw Paw's a good spot to hang out.
This place so nice.
They named it twice.
They named it twice.
Have you ever eaten a Paw Paw?
Yeah, they're delicious.
I never had one.
I was looking for them this week at the farmer's market. I didn't see any. And I've only had them once.
Because they grow. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
But they grow in this Midwestern region, but they're very tough to grow, I believe, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. So I've not known a Paw Paw farmer.
Really?
No.
An orchardist?
Yeah, an orchardist that grows the Paw Paw.
Paw Paw fruit. Let's look it up real quick.
Yeah, I wonder if it's as easy to deal with like apples or pears or
America's
peaches.
favorite best secret fruit. Yeah. Tropical.
All right.
A riot of mango, banana, citrus. Well, anyway.
Okay.
It's kind of our banana.
It's our banana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
Does it need I guess it's grown in the Midwest, so it's something that can work in our environment, but I don't know why Paw Paw is called Paw Paw, and two, why we don't have any and we can't find any around.
According to this article, Serious Eats says Paw Paws grow from the Great Lakes down to portions of the Florida Panhandle.
Okay.
Members of Lewis and Clark Expedition ate Paw Paws for pleasure. And for a period in Missouri in 1800s, they subsisted on them.
Okay.
Because they had to. Let's see here. Yeah, sunny, eclectic. It's a homely fruit. That's not nice to say.
A homely fruit.
Why do they call it a homely fruit?
Is it a little ugly?
Well, apparently.
Huh.
It's got 4 big pits in it, 4 big seeds, but it's the largest edible fruit trees native to North America.
Good to know.
Yeah.
We're learning a lot today.
We should have a pawpaw orchard.
Yeah. We got a lot of trees around here around the back 40. Maybe we could put a.
Yeah.
How do they deal with radio frequencies?
They love them. They love them. They'll grow real big.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, pawpaw flavored craft beer is apparently a thing.
Okay. All right. Let's get back on and we'll talk with Fred here in a second.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies today. We'll see some sun, so we'll see some peaks of sun, but we're certainly adding more clouds through the day today. We're going to see high temperatures inland around 83, along the lakeshore around 78. Mostly cloudy tonight. We see showers move in overnight. We drop to 62, and we're talking rain and thunderstorms on Thursday with a high of only 70. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
Stay in the know with all the news and happenings by downloading the WSJM app. You can not only listen live to WSJM, but you can also check out news stories, podcasts, and a whole lot more. And you can also join us on our live stream right there on our Facebook page and our YouTube if you would like as well. And we've got a special guest, former U.S. Representative Fred Upton, in a beautiful sunlight glistening on your face. It's a good look for you.
Well, thanks. It's coming up. I got a little beam on my porch, so I might have to move as the sun comes above the school next door. But looks like it's going to be a nice day. We're experiencing the nice weather that Michigan had, and I'll be back. I got a wedding this weekend, and then I'll be home.
Very nice. Very nice. Congressman, tell us a little bit about, so what we saw yesterday was Speaker Kevin McCarthy, the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, was ousted. A small group of individuals used the rules to call for a vote to remove the Speaker of the House. Never has happened before, as far as we understand. What's your read on this? Why did it happen? And then we'll talk about what's next after that. But why did this happen?
Well, it really can. It's really ironic. I mean, the claim that Matt Gaetz had against Kevin, the Speaker, was that he worked with the Democrats, and he didn't want that to happen. And, he worked with the Democrats to avoid a default last June, and he worked with the Democrats to avoid a government shutdown this past weekend. This is, by the way, after Kevin tried about 6 or 8 different ways to have Republicans vote to avoid the shutdown, and he couldn't get the votes to get it done. So anyway, Gaetz's complaint was he worked with the Democrats, and then as it turned out yesterday, Gaetz had 8 Republicans of the 221 and every one of the Democrats to knock Kevin out. And it all stemmed from, actually, as you know, I was once a vice chair of the Problem Solvers Caucus, the bipartisan of 60 members. Back in 2018, when the House flipped, Speaker Pelosi didn't have the votes yet to be Speaker. This was even in December. This is after the November election in December. And she came to the Problem Solvers Caucus, particularly the Democrats, and said, "Why are you all holding out? Why aren't you supporting me for Speaker? No one else is running." He said, "We need to change in the rules. This issue of one member being able to vacate the Speaker's chair is like a Damocles sword over the Speaker's head. It needs to change." And when you do that and a few other things, to create more bipartisanship, the Democrats then in the Problem Solvers Caucus committed that they would support Pelosi for Speaker and wouldn't do so until she agreed to the changes. The change was made. Come this last election, 2022, the Freedom Caucus folks said, "No, we liked it the way that it was before. We figured out how we could stick Boehner and Paul Ryan, former Republican speakers, and we want to have that same authority where just one member, instead of the majority of the conference, could vote to vacate the chair." And so Kevin agreed to it. So he agreed to that change in the rules in January, and so they used it. And as it turned out, 8 Republicans and 200 and 10 Democrats all voted to oust him. So it was expected, even as of yesterday morning, that the effort to table the motion, this is a little procedural here, but of course that then just defers the vote, it cancels the vote, was going to prevail. But that didn't work out. I saw that happen about 9 or 10 yesterday morning, and writing was on the wall that Kevin was not going to make it. That came true. The House now is adjourned for a week. Someone made the point yesterday that, man, if you're on a football team and you get slaughtered, you don't take the week off to get ready for the next game. You're in the locker room, you're on the training field, you're throwing the passes, you're figuring out what the lineups change is going to be to make sure that you win the next game. But the House is now out of session for a week. It appears as though Steve Scalise, I think, is the front runner. Steve, of course, is the Republican majority leader. People will remember him, that he was one of the ball players that was shot on the baseball field a few years ago. He was actually on my committee. I know Steve well. He was I helped him get on the Energy and Commerce Committee. And I think he's the favorite going into this. Calls are being made. You can buy some stock in AT&T because there's a lot of calls that are being across the country. People try to figure out whose phone number is what and who can be captains of the team. But I would say that he's going to be the front runner. He is making calls. I know that I communicated with a couple of my former colleagues even this morning. And so there'll be maybe a couple people that are in it. I know one Republican member has already said that he's going to recommend and introduce a resolution for Donald Trump to be the speaker. And as you know, you don't have to be a member of Congress. It's never happened, but you don't have to be a member of Congress to be speaker. And so there may be a few people who decide that they'd like to have Trump to be the speaker. Maybe that'll help him with his legal woes. But at the end of the day, I think that Steve Scalise will get the nomination and be successful. But then there's a lot of work to do. I mean, you got a month to avoid another shutdown. It's a big transition, and for the speaker's staff, they're gone. Kevin McCarthy had a staff of 50. They're gone. They're out day one. Steve has got a staff much smaller. Obviously, he knows the way that the House works, but they're going to have to start working on a continuing resolution, the appropriation bills between now and November 17th, when the clock expires on the government funding.
Fred, looking at the bigger picture of, you talk about the House rules allowing for a handful of individuals to cause even just one individual to introduce a privileged resolution to force a vote on the Speaker of the House. And the Speaker, if he has his conference or caucus in order, depending on which party they're in, then fine, everything goes forward. It becomes a moot point. But even a small group can cause, as we saw yesterday, the Speaker of the House to be ousted. And so isn't it perhaps the way that the rule makers set it out in the beginning, that okay, this is a mechanism that's going to force the parties, the leadership, to do something on a bipartisan basis. And now we're looking at purity tests where if you try to strike a deal with the Democrats, if you're a Republican, for anything, including keeping the federal government going, if you don't pass that purity test, you're out. I mean, where does this end, and how does this work?
The rule has got to be changed to go back to what it was. And I would guess that Steve Scalise will, and the Republican caucus, remember that only 8 Republicans voted against Kevin, but it was enough. So you have enough Republicans, over 200, that will vote for a rules change. I mean, those 8 that voted no, they're not in good graces with the rest of the group. You ask our 2 congressmen here from Berrien County, Tim Walberg and Bill Huizenga, I bet that they're not going to have very nice things to say about any of those 8. You can ask them. That's my bet. Yeah. So I think you're going to see a rules change. And for the Democrats, quite frankly, and, they smell that the House is going to flip again in 24, this next election. A lot of different issues that are out there. Redistricting is still a factor in some of the states. The Supreme Court has changed some of the maps. It's much more favorable to the Democrats. And remember, the margin's just 4 or 5 seats. So I think most of the Democrats will say, good grief, look what happened this week to the Republicans. We don't want it to happen if it's us 2 years from now and we've got the same margin. They've got, they're progressives. They got AOC and Jay Paul and a few others way off to the left. They don't want those folks to have that same, baseball bat to their new speaker, Hakeem Jeffries, who's their likely candidate for sure. So I think you'll see a rules change perhaps as early as next week to take that off the table in the future.
Kevin McCarthy had 15 ballots. It took 15 ballots to make him speaker. How about Steve Scalise?
I think that Steve will do it in one ballot.
Wow.
I think he'll do it in one ballot. I think that, and it's, the speaker is all, no Democrat is going to vote for him. So he has to get, in the way that it's written, he has to get 218 votes. Not a majority of the people that are voting, but he has to get a majority of the Congress. So, if you got a third or fourth party that's in there, and you maybe end up with 202, and it's still higher than the other side. That's not good enough. You have to have a majority of those voting. So I think Steve will get it. I think people are going to see the writing on the wall. This is a big blemish on Republicans. Let's face it. So they're going to want to have this transition as easy as it can be. They're not going to want. Anyone in the Congress on the Republican side is not going to want 15 ballots and go through this. I'll call it a charade, which is a nice word, as they went through last January.
Do you think it's a one and done for Matt Gaetz? You think he'll try this again with Scalise if he gets in?
No, they're going to change the rule.
Yeah, they'll change the rule. They'll prevent this from going on.
He's got some, I heard some of my former colleagues yesterday talk about even moving him through the ethics committee and maybe stripping him of his committee spots.
Sure.
Out of the Republican conference, which frankly isn't a big deal. Really hasn't happened before. It won't happen much. But he wants to be the martyr on this. But, his agenda is a little bit different. It's not governing. That's never where Matt Gaetz has been. He's raising a lot of money, and he did yesterday on his actions. But he'd like to be the next governor of Florida when DeSantis' term either ends or he becomes president. So he's already talking about running for governor in Florida in 2026 if he survives then. He also has an ongoing, I believe, ethics investigation.
That's right. Yeah.
For a number of different things. So maybe that will move as well. So not a good feelings on most of the Republicans. And check with Wahlberg and Heisinger here locally, but I don't think they'll have very nice things to say about him.
Yeah, they held their tongue yesterday. They just said that McCarthy was doing a good job, shouldn't have been removed. We're talking with former Congressman Fred Upton. Thanks for joining us this morning. You mentioned president. You want to talk about no labels? What's the update there? Is no labels going to prevent some of this chicanery from happening?
Well, as I listen to folks and try and get a sense, and I'm in Michigan a lot, people are just so disgusted with what's going on back in D.C. I mean, what happened yesterday, you talk to foreign leaders, legislators. I'm a member of the board now of former members of Congress, so we have a lot of legislators coming in from around the world. They're asking about our political process and what's going on, our democracy. And people are just like, what the heck? So, what No Labels is about is a unity ticket. And as we've talked about this before, most Americans, frankly, it's a majority now, don't want a rematch of Biden and Trump. And so the No Labels group, which I'm also a member of, has been talking about a unity ticket where we'd have a Republican and a Democrat run on the national ticket, not underneath. They're not going to have members of Congress run or state reps or whatever. The vetting process is beginning. We've come out with a number of principles, common sense, which you can find on nolabels.org. And we're now on 11 states on the ballots, recently in North Carolina and Utah. And we're making progress there. And I think you're going to see some activity here in Michigan in the next couple of weeks that we look some big announcements. But got some good people. Joe Lieberman, of course, candidate on the national ticket a number of years ago, is one of the Democratic co-chairs, as well as Pat McGorry and Larry Hogan on the Republican side, two former Republican governors, and Ben Chavis, who, of course, headed the NAACP. And we've got Jay Nixon, former Democrat governor of Missouri, who's very involved now publicly as well. So we'll see how this turns out and give voters another choice, particularly when they see the mischief, which is a nice word for what goes on in D.C.
Right. Yeah, and Fred, real quick, as you mentioned earlier about how Donald Trump's name was being floated around as a possible non-Congress member to be possible candidate for Speaker of the House. Yesterday, I was talking about this, and I thought, and I know your name was floated around back when Kevin McCarthy was trying to get some votes. Would you, if somebody called you up and said, "Hey, Fred, we think you're the guy," would you accept and start getting some votes?
No, I'm very happy deferring to Steve Scalise. I think he'll do a fine job. I think he's got the votes. They don't need Fred Upton in this mix of names.
I think Ken's choice was Taylor Swift as another possible.
Yeah, everyone's got Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she get the votes. She definitely get the votes.
And every time she loses a vote, she'd just shake it off.
She'd shake it off, and nobody's going to want to vote against her because they know they're going to get a breakup song of some kind. They're going to get a song.
Congressman, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, Ken. Thanks.
All right. Fred Upton joining us from, I don't know where he is, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, undisclosed location in a beautiful spot.
Sunny. But awesome. Talking about what's happening in Washington, D.C., it's optimistic, but what he pointed out was House is in recess for a week, and then they'll figure it out. So they're letting things cool down a little bit. Cool down.
We'll get to your Moody on the Market update here in just a moment. It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
Regional Airport just minutes away.
Really, with the South Bend Airport so close in our backyard, we really have access to the world.
That's Christina Frank at Cornerstone Alliance, who, with Julie Curtis from South Bend International Airport, announces a real travel game changer.
Delta is bringing back our Detroit service. The business community especially really told us, hey, this is a huge connection point. We need to get this service back, which we 100% agreed with.
Julie says Delta's resuming daily flights to Detroit in September says a lot about area support.
We are the first regional market to have those flights resumed. So that says a lot about the community supporting the airport and using the airport.
More flights just minutes away with a less expensive, easier airport experience. South Bend International Airport, a growing partner in Michigan's Great Southwest.
Underwritten in part by Cornerstone Alliance investor Arcadia Gardens Landscape and Design.
It started out as free.
But then they said it would only be a few cents a day.
What you're hearing is real, and it may be happening to you.
It ended up being a lot.
These are the voices of NADS.
I pay for streaming video, cloud storage, streaming audio. Where does it end?
This is the sound of nickel and diming syndrome. It is a real thing.
It is a real thing.
I just want to hear my music. Is that so wrong?
There is hope. For millions of people, there is radio.
Radio?
Radio. With $0 down and $0 per month. Radio delivers all the music, news, and entertainment you want when you want it for free. No usernames, passwords, or Wi-Fi connection required.
Here's my credit card number. It's 5462.
Shh, don't speak. When you listen to WSJM, you'll never need that.
This is so wonderful.
Yes, it is. The cure for nickel and diming syndrome.
I could use a hug.
It's radio. No subscription required.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
When you want to know Southwest Michigan's business, you can find it at moodyonthemarket.com and the Moody on the Market app. Our team of contributors always on it, getting you the stories that you need to know. And we also have our Moody on the Move series at Our Lady of the Lake this month, so check out that. And our awards program, past recipients of 40 Under 40, Best Places to Work, and Bold Women of Business. Your update brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency, with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles. You all right over there?
Yeah.
Get a little
frog in the throat.
I think it's the allergies.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I've had all kinds of allergy issues lately. I don't know what's going on.
I'm grimacing at the outside.
Could be the the construction dust that could be happening down by my house, down in Niles.
That's exciting.
This is exciting. We may soon in the Niles region be getting a Harbor Freight Tools.
I'm going to say you will.
Yeah.
Harbor Freight Tools, the family-owned nationwide company that was started in Southern California, yesterday announced that they're planning to open a new location in Niles. According to the company, the new store will be located at 1250 Bell Road, and it's expected to open up this winter.
Yeah, this will be exciting. I was unsure if it was going to be replacing the Big Lots or if it will be in that complex, but they say that they've been looking to open a location in Niles for a number of years so that they can provide the tools and equipment at tremendous value to the community.
Yeah.
That's what Trey Feller, who is the Senior Vice President of Real Estate and Construction for Harbor Freight Tools. In addition to finding a great location, we were attracted by the availability of great associates in the Niles area, and we look forward to having them join the Harbor Freight team.
And they say construction has begun at the new location, and the company notes they're using local workers and companies from around the Niles area. An official opening date will be announced closer to when they're ready to cut the ribbon there. The company expects to bring between 25 and 30 new jobs to the community, including sales and logistics, sales associates, and also seasonal opportunities. I don't know about you, but I love spending some time in Harbor Freight.
I do. I like it because I don't have to spend as much money on some tools. But that'll be good because the nearest one, I mean, we've got the one here in Benton Harbor.
Yep.
And then for those people in the South County area or the Michiana region.
No, South County.
Michiana region. You know, when we're right on that little strip of the border there. The closest one is Mishawaka. It's on the far side of Mishawaka. So this will be nice.
What is the Mishawaka's footprint like?
Good size. It's a good size store.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm curious about it because I don't know. I know the Big Lots is a good size in Niles, so I don't know if they're going to kind of restructure some of both of those stores and make it all work.
Yeah.
Or what's going to happen. We'll just have to wait and see. I might drive by there today and check it out because I know that if construction's starting, maybe some people will give me a little inside behind the scenes look.
Absolutely. Maybe you'll see one of those big harbor freighters come in.
Ooh.
Dropping off the tools and stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Harbor Freight. You can see that entire story on moodyonthemarket.com.
All right, and check that out, and also a bunch of other stories as well. Your Moody on the Market update brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles.
We're watching over you. IMS Insurance Management.
All right, everybody, that about does it for the live stream this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Big thank you to Fred Upton for also joining us.
That was nice.
You had a busy weekend. I think he said he had a wedding coming up somewhere.
Wedding's coming up this weekend.
So
who's getting married? Maybe is Kate already married? Is Kate getting married?
Kate Upton? Yeah, she's been married.
Okay.
To Justin Verlander, former Detroit Tiger, who we were hoping was going to become a Detroit Tiger when he was traded back to the Houston Astros. But no, Kate Upton already married. It's already got one kid, two kids, one kid.
Do they really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, do your pop culture research
2017.
There, man. Yeah.
Or was it 2018? Somewhere around there.
Somewhere
there it
around
is.
there.
I see the pictures now.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for all of you for spending some time with us this morning. We will spend some time with you again tomorrow morning, right around the same time, right around 7 o'clock. You have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.